Hello, hello, beautiful people, kings and queens, friends, family, new viewers. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. How are you? And where are you? Where is everybody? I'm live. Welcome to my talk show, Who is Your Daddy series. Today, I have a special episode, but I'm not going to go ahead until you guys come on. Okay, I see two people. Can you introduce yourselves, please? Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Adelaja MacDonald, and I'm the talk show host of this program called Who is Your Daddy series. I love to delve and discuss issues related to daddy. Those of you who've grown up without a daddy, I was that kind of person who didn't have a daddy in my life, even though I have a physical daddy. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, my handsome and gorgeous son, Paul. Good afternoon. Nice to see you. Can you let me know whether you hear me? Can you see us very well? Can you please let me know? Good afternoon, Queen Wumi. Nice to see you. To see you. Nice. Oh, good afternoon, Sylvia. Oh, good afternoon, my daughter, Queen Libby. Nice to see you. To see you. Nice, video people. Hey, there's Solashade. Hello, how are you? Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. Where have you been? Where have you been? We've been missing you. I haven't seen you for a while now. Well, this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So, we are doing.
Hello, Sylvia.
Well, you want to say hello?
Hello, Sylvia. I'm trying.
Good afternoon, Queen Patty. Lovely to see you. Welcome back home. We missed you. We missed you. So, as you can see, it's not me today. It's not me. It's we with my hubby Evans. And today we're going to be doing a special episode. Hello. Good afternoon to you. You want to say good afternoon?
Good afternoon, Patty. Good afternoon, beautiful people of God. Lovely to have you on board, and I believe we'll have a wonderful time this afternoon.
Yes. So before we start, before we get into the loveliness of this broadcast, can I please ask you to hit your share buttons, invite your friends, invite your family, tag them, pull them, and ask them to come and spend, this time with us. Good afternoon, Queen Justine. Lovely to see you. So invite everybody. Oh, good afternoon, Oluwatoyin. Bonjour, bonjour, Queen Justine. Bonjour. So yeah, so please share. As you know the mantra right now, share. Sharing is caring. If you can hear me, please hit the like button or the wow button or the heart button. Let me know that you can hear us and you can see us, because we've had a bit of mishap in the background here. Yes, and also can you switch on your notification button so that anytime I'm on, we can be together. We can spend some time together. Okay? Queen Liwani says she loves my earrings. Thank you, Queen Patty, for the thumbs up and the heart. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, King Joseph. Lovely to have you this afternoon with us. Thank you so much. So, I don't want to waste our time, so we're going ahead. So, like I said, my name is Adelaja MacDonald, and I'm the host of this talk show called Who is Your Daddy series. I'm all about talking about issues that are related to people who grew up without their daddy, but with the main or the ultimate goal is helping people develop an up-close and personal relationship with Daddy God. Because you know what? He is the best daddy that ever is. There's no daddy like Daddy God. So hence why I do this here, to help people move past the traumas with not having a daddy, because I was that person, and to point you towards Daddy God. But this afternoon we want to share our experience that we had while we were in Kiev, Ukraine, to visit Dr. Sandy Adelaja whilst he was celebrating his golden Jubilee anniversary. He turned 50 on the 20th of May, and he had a 3-day birthday. So my hubby and I, we went and were the glorious guests at his at the event, and we learned so much. We learned so much about God at this party, and that's why we want to do this thing. We want to do this special episode so that you can have a more understanding, a more taste of what Daddy God is really like. So let's get into it. So honey, do you want to say hello briefly, and then we'll get into it, so we've got more people.
Hello again. As I said earlier, it's good to have all of you. Want to take this opportunity to just share with you our experience in the Ukraine, and the truth and revelation which I personally would say I did receive during my time there.
Yes, somebody is saying that my earrings are on point. Thank you very much. So anyway, let's get into it. So we're talking about Dr. Sandy Adelaja. So for those of you who will watch this episode or watch it afterwards, I just want to give a brief summary of who Dr. Sandy Adelaja is. This is my son, he is a father of all fathers. He is the teacher of all teachers. He is the leader of all leaders, and he is a mentor of all mentors. That's how I can put it. So he's the father of all fathers, the leader of all leaders, the teacher of teachers, the mentor of all mentors. He is the most honorable person I've met on earth, but the most humble person I've ever encountered. The most humble person I've ever encountered. So anyway, so like I said, he was celebrating his 50th birthday on the 20th of May, but which unfolded as a 3-day event from the 26th of May to the 28th of May. And we were so glad to be able to be part of this honorable event. Anyway, so we got to Kiev on the 26th, was it, or the 25th? The 25th. We got there on the 25th, and little did I know, or we know, what was waiting for us. As soon as we got there, tell us what happened to you. What did Dr. Sandy do?
We got there. I think there was a meeting going on. I think we had only spoken once on Skype. We hadn't actually met. I actually hadn't met him face to face before. We had spoken once on Skype. But then when we got there, he sort of identified. I was able to tell who I was. So stood up, came bowing before me, saying it was a pleasure to meet me, etc. And I was rather saying, I'm rather honored to be in his presence. But then he saw it more of it was more of his honor to meet me, which was quite surprising, for me. But then the welcome was even was far beyond what I actually did expect. Often or not, I didn't go with any expectation. As scripture says, what did you go out to see? I didn't really go out with any expectation. I went not knowing what I would receive or what was going to happen, but then the whole welcome was actually a celebration on its on its own.
Yeah, so like you said, a celebration on his own. He got the most amazing welcome, and I also didn't know what was waiting for me. Obviously, this is my 3rd time in being Ukraine, but I didn't expect the welcome that was waiting for me too. Dr. Sandy welcomed me with flowers, the most beautiful flowers. A birthday cake because I just turned 54 on the 24th of May. And also with a brand new MacBook Pro. Now, I'm sure you know that, I'm sure all of you are aware that Mac products are not a walk in the park. They are really expensive. And he bought me a brand new MacBook Pro which costs almost about, I think it's about 2,000, maybe between one, I don't know, 1,500 or, yeah, 1,800 to 2,000 pounds. And that was my birthday gift. I was totally, totally overwhelmed. Like, who does that? I've been a Christian for a long time, 30 years, and with all due respect, no pastor has given me such an expensive present. And I've only known Dr. Sandy for 10 months now, but his generosity is unbelievable. So that made me look at Daddy God and say, that made me see Daddy God as a generous giver through Dr. Sandy Adelaja. Now, I said we were going to introduce who he was. Obviously, I've said he's the mentor of mentor, the father of fathers, the leader of all leaders, the teacher of all teachers. He is the most humble and most generous man I have ever met. If a man of God I've ever met, I haven't met anybody like him. And so that MacBook Pro was so overwhelming, and he gave it as a gift to help me improve my artistic gifts. For those of you who may know, I'm very artistic. I love using my creativity to help people develop a close and personal relationship with God. I love to make the world come alive through my creativity. And so he thought, okay, what a good way to honor and blessing. And it was not only the gift, it was the time he gave, about, I think it was about 40 minutes maybe, having different people come and
celebrate you,
to celebrate me. I mean, who does that? Who gives their platform for other people? But that, as soon as he arrived, he got people who went in the house, to each one of them to come and talk and to celebrate. And even he himself took time out to celebrate me. And that was just so totally way out there and overwhelming. And really, I don't know how do we put that? It's not normal. It's not normal. So that was the day one that we arrived on. That is what we were welcomed with. So much love, so much attention, so much celebration. He was the one who's supposed to be celebrated, not me. Yes, I know it was my birthday, but we went to see him, to celebrate him. But he started celebrating me and celebrating my husband. He went down with his knees, and I mean, who does that? Who does that in this day? Who does that? I haven't met any man of God, with all due respect to you men of God out there. I have not seen anything like it. So that was what happened when we arrived. And then let's go on to the day of the day one of the party, which I think started around 11 o'clock, right?
Yeah,
11 o'clock. Do you want to tell them what happened?
Before I go to day one, hello Jeff, nice to see you on board.
Hello Jeff. Hello Pastor Obi and Queen D.
I think we did meet that night.
I can't remember.
Thursday night. Yeah, I think we had a session with him on the Thursday night. Even before the party on on Friday, we had a session with him on Thursday night. And what I would say is I was really taken aback with what was really going on. I saw Sylvia earlier on mention that we make you feel like wanting to meet him. Sylvia, you need to meet him.
Yes, you need to meet him.
You need to meet him. But then as I said, right from arrival, I would say my whole being was just transported into the Bible. Okay, I could imagine myself being with the great men we've all been reading about the Elijahs, Elishas, the Moseses, the Abrahams. I could just imagine myself being with them, identifying with them, what they went through, how they heard from God, the things they did. That was how comfortable I felt being there. It was just like being with Jesus in the upper room, him ministering to his disciples, and all of a sudden I found myself being the 13th disciple sitting under the, feet of Jesus. It's an experience one can't describe. You just have to experience it yourself. Often or not, people talk about being in the presence or having met great men like Muhammad Ali, Nelson Mandela. I remember Naomi Campbell, usually called Nelson Mandela, her father, and you can't really understand, the things they say. Being with such great men, it's something you just need to experience. So for the thousands out there, I would say it's a lifetime experience you need to go through. You need, then you can, understand the way people feel, or realize, it's really hard to put it into words. But it was such a wonderful time with him that evening. Then the following day was day one of his 3-day party. It was such a wonderful time. But in it all, although it was his birthday party, the focus was always on God. The focus was always on God.
Hello, Vivian.
It wasn't just his birthday party, it was a party for all. A party whereby we all together with him just celebrated God for his goodness, his kindness, and for his mercies, and for who he is. It was such a wonderful time. I wish we were all there.
Yeah, so I want to zoom in a bit more on day one. So the birthday started at 11 o'clock. It rained a bit, so it did rain a bit, so it was a bit cloudy and a bit dark, but things picked up a bit later. But what I want to talk about is the fact that when Dr. Sunday came into the room where the party was held, he didn't make himself the focal point. He made sure that it was our party, and even you guys that that were holding it in different centers all over the world, he made it our thing. It wasn't about the celebrant. Now, I want to say that I'm 54 years old, and I've been to a couple of parties, and most of the time, the three things that stand out at a celebrant's party is, number one, the venue. So the way they decorate the venue. Number two is the food. They put emphasis on making sure that the food is on point. Number three, the celebrant, the celebrant himself or herself, sorry, herself. herself or himself, sorry. The focus is on the celebrant, so you will see it in the way they will be dressed up. Those are the three things that stand out at the parties that I normally see. But Dr. Sunday was not the focal point. All the time, it was about us. He was always drawing us into the party. It was all about us together to God. Us together to God. Us together to God. And I have never experienced that. Trust me, I was totally humbled and totally blown away. And obviously we danced, we gave our congratulatory speeches. I'm sure you saw the bits and bobs that were made live that day. And then that particular day, the first day, what I found humbling was when he was encircled and prayed for, and I was looking at him, and I was looking at his heart of humility to receive all the prayers. It wasn't a case of that I am Dr. Sunday Adelaja, and it is my party, and I will tell you what I want and who is it. But he just humbled, lowered himself to the lowest, and received the prayers. Oh my goodness, received. We all, because we're many, we all tried to touch him and lay our hands on him, and he just, like a little child, was receiving all these prayers. And that was day one. I've never seen that before. Hence why we want to do this broadcast. That was day one. So honey, do you want to talk about day two? At the Grand Admiral Resort and Spa. That was the name of the place, the event.
I think day two for me was something you need to experience yourself. And I don't think I'll be able to do much justice to day two, because day two was just something else. Day two was a continuation of day one, but then day two was. It's hard to really put into words, but then day two was also just about the people, the way the whole setting, was. I mean, the way everything was just organized, even when he turned up, as per protocol, there was a red carpet laid out to him, but he wasn't even very interested in the red carpet. He rather went around hugging everybody, showing his appreciation for, the people that came, because people had actually taken time to be with him, it was more of, celebrating with the people. And, he just kept on hugging everybody and drawing everybody onto himself. He didn't make it his party. It was a party of the people. We are all celebrating. Yes, I might be the one turning 50, but then it's a celebration for all of us. Focus being God. We want to praise God. We want to thank God, and I'll say I've never actually been to any party, as like that before, and even with everything that was done, even I wouldn't want to jump ahead of myself, but even with the music, there was certain music we might turn Christian music, but then the DJ puts the music on and he'll say, no, that music is more of music for the flesh, although it is a Christian music, but it's more, of a blessing to the flesh, and he really wanted something which would rather make our focus God. God should be our focus, So whenever he wasn't happy with any music, believe it or not, we didn't even play Mary Mary.
Even though they tried to.
Even though they tried to, Mary Mary wasn't acceptable. So, and the good thing was, later on, not jumping ahead of myself, but then later on, he actually met with us again and explained, why one music was favorable than the other, for the occasion, and then trying to bring our mind back to the main focus, that in everything we do, the focus should be God. We might be the ones celebrating our birthday, but then we are not the focal points. The focal points should always be God.
Beautiful people, you know what? Tears are just coming to my eyes when I remember what happened. So, like my husband said, yes, he did come in a glorious vehicle, in a limousine. He came with his most beautiful wife, Pastor Bossa, and like he said, the red carpet was obviously laid out, but he bypassed, like I said, protocol and went hugging each and everybody. I mean, who does that? Embracing, thanking each and every person, making them feel that they are special, they are unique, they are important. And that is Jesus. Jesus doesn't, his focus is on each and every person. Everybody is important, and I was just watching him and I was just so humbled. I was close to tears that day as well. I'm saying that I've never seen this before. I've never seen, I beg your pardon, any pastor that goes out to celebrate the people, make the people special, and also continually lift their focus from themselves towards God. So that was, the bit when he came in. And then if that was not enough, the high table, as you saw, usually when there's a high table, where does the celebrant go? They sit on the high table and they're separate on the high table. They don't mingle with the invitees or the guests. They don't mingle, but they tend to stay close to the small group of people that are on the high table. But what did Dr. Sunday do? He left that place and started going from table to table. He started dancing with his beautiful wife. He started dancing and dancing and dancing. Each table he'll go there and dance and glorify God. Keep on glorifying God. And the focus all the time was Daddy God. Daddy God all the time. I've never seen anything like that. From table to table to table. And like my husband said, if the music was on point, he will get a little, please change that music and let's get back to the Daddy God factor. And I was watching all of this. And I was saying that this is what the kingdom of God is like. Remember, I did a series on experiencing and knowing God through my best mentor, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. And I was watching, as I was watching, sorry, all this unfold, I said, wow, so this is what Daddy is like. Daddy embraces all of us. He embraces all of us. We are all important. We're all his children. He celebrates all of us with a dance. Not physically, but in the spirit. He dances over us. In fact, the Bible says in Zephaniah that he sings over us with love. He sings over us with love. And he made sure that every person was a part of the party. I have never seen anything like it. And even those that did their own unique dances. And oh, I've just remembered. So I'm sure you saw it, but I know the recording wasn't done on the whole birthday. So he would get us into a circle. He would get us into a circle, have us hold our hands, all of us, and they will be going in, and they will come out. We'll go in, and they will come out. And he would always say, "Come closer, come closer." He would say, "Come close to me, come close to me." I'm thinking, who does that? Who says, because I've been a Christian a long time, and there's protocol with pastors. With all due respect, there's pastors. There's only this far that you can go. But he was saying, "Come." He will say, "Come." Even when close, he'll say, "Come more closer, come more closer." Come more closer. Anything?
Yeah, as I said, there's a lot to say and a lot to learn, But then, for me, I for once understood the concept of the early church, what the early church was all about, the love amongst the disciples. It really brought everything more to light to me, regarding even the whole concept of our Christianity, because as my wife said, with men of God, there's always a protocol, there's always how far you can actually get to them, okay? But then you read through scriptures, you realize the 12 always surrounded Jesus. They were with him. He taught them. He opened himself, up to them, even to the extent one could even betray him. Yes, he was God. He knew who was going to betray him, but he never shunned that person, that one, away from him. He still embraced him. And as my wife just said, I've never really seen that kind of person or that kind of pastor really embrace the people. It's I think one of the problems or we have has been our culture, whereby our culture does not allow us to get very close to people in authority. But then with him, you really feel at home.
Yes.
You really feel at home. As much as you might want to resist getting close to him,
Yeah.
you just find yourself, getting even closer and closer to him and wondering, why can't it be this all over the world? Why can't it be this? Why do we have all these protocols, as in place? Jesus, even at a certain time, even as tired as he was, the disciples, being the protocol officers, were so concerned about the state of Jesus's mind and his physical body, and wanted to drive even the children away. But then Jesus said, "No, suffer not the little children ones to come unto me."
Yeah. Let the children come unto
Jesus
me.
was always drawing people unto himself. And then you wonder why, how come along the line we've changed everything, and I have to go through 6 or 7 people, before I can reach the man of God. And another thing I would really say is, I learned from him was, I realized, as I said earlier on, this men of God we read about in the Bible were just like you and me. They were human beings. They were not extraordinary human beings. They were human beings who yielded themselves unto God, and God did mighty things through them, And that's one thing I learned, because being with him, you ask yourself, so what's the difference between him and me? We're both human, and he's so down to earth,
Yeah.
But then you realize here was somebody whose heart was for God, or whose heart is for God, and God indeed rewards those who diligently seek him. Here's somebody who's sought the Lord. And the other flip side of the coin to that is also the fact that he wants you to be like him.
Yes.
He wants you to be like him. He opens the door and tell you, you can be like me. It's not an exclusive club for a few people. Okay, Jesus died for all. You can be like me and even do greater things than I have done. Which was something which was really impacting and profound about him. The fact that he just wants to build you up. In your Christian walk, that look, it's not magic. It's not magic. You just have to follow the principles, make yourself available, and God would use you, which was really, really profound, because I've met a few men of God in my life, but then with most, I'll say their message was what I took away, with my encounter with them. It was their message. But with him, it was more of the person I took away with me. It wasn't yes, it was the message, but for me, the most important thing was the person, getting to know the person, and it was such a wonderful experience.
Yeah. So that was even after, I forgot to mention about the even the photographs. When we were taking the photographs, it was always come closer. It was like come closer. If you get close, he said no, come closer, come close. Everything about Dr. Sunday is come close, come close, come close, and I totally I honor Dr. Sunday for that. I really admire him for that. And that's one lesson I'm learning, to draw people close. Okay, day 3.
Day 3 was the Sunday service. The party was held in church for the general congregation, which was another beautiful day. Everybody was involved, people appreciating him, he appreciating the people, and I think that went on till about 5 o'clock. And just when we thought it was all over, he had the party after the party.
Yes.
And the party after the party was for him just appreciating people.
50 people.
50 people. He was appreciating 50 people. 50 people, right from the cleaner,
yeah,
to the driver, to the pantry staff, to his ministers.
Yeah.
People who've been with him throughout the ministry, who have remained faithful to him. He was giving out presents to them. I remember I made mention of the presents he was giving out to people, to someone, and the person mentioned that it's actually started in Ghana, that people do that in Ghana these days. But then I asked myself, and I'm sure even in Nigeria they do it, but then I asked the person, what was the motive behind people, the celebrants, actually giving presents to the invitees? And that's, I know my people, and God knows our hearts. So what was the motive behind people doing that at their birthday parties these days? But with him, even as he called out the various, and these were people who were not really expecting anything. They didn't really know what was going to happen. And you could see tears running down the eyes of people because they were not expecting to be called out, to be honored, And even as they came out for their presence, he was ministering to each of them.
Yeah.
And he was just so grateful and thankful to God, for their lives, etc. And I just told myself, no, this is a new day. This is a new day, it's a new dawn, and this is what Christianity is all about. It's not about us. It's about caring for each other. It's about appreciating each other. It's about honoring each other, And more so, I think it's not something we really used to. The Caucasian might do it and we find it sort of acceptable, but coming from one of our own, being so humble and appreciative of everybody was quite surprising. But it was an eye-opener and a great lesson we all took away from those 3 days.
Yeah, I really like them. And so I just want to talk a little bit about day 2 when we got to the church. It was obviously packed to maximum, and and you should see and hear the roar of waiting for Dr. Sunday Adelaja to come in. And they were singing it in their language. What does it mean? I've forgotten about this. But anyway, as he was coming in, once again, the focus was not on himself. The focus was not on himself. It was once again to God, towards Daddy God. And then there were congratulatory speeches. And then we, the DSA family UK, those that represented the UK wing, we went on stage, and we also were given a platform to talk. And I was looking at him, and he was just sitting there, like if I can put it, like a little boy, and just I'm fazed by all the things that were coming to him, because as far as they're concerned, it's all about God. It's all about God. It's all about Daddy. It's not about man. It's not about man. So now we'll move to the third day.
It was a Sunday.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I forgot it was a Sunday. The evening, sorry. What do you read in the evening?
Yeah, in the evening was more of a preview and a review of the 3-day party session. He gave everybody the opportunity to express their opinion, what they learned, what could have been done better, what shouldn't have been done, which was done, what should have been done, which was done, And as I said earlier, the whole reason behind it was he was trying to teach us how to have a party the kingdom way. That often or not, when we are having a party, there's that aspect of the world. We that little aspect of the world still in us. We sort of make it creep into the parties we are having or the celebrations we are having. So he threw more light on why things were done the way they were, why we might have thought something should have been done and why we didn't see it being done, the reason why it wasn't being done, And for me, as I said, it just reminded me of Jesus with his disciples, after he had preached the whole day, Jesus would still at night sit down with them. Actually, when he said we're going to meet with him in the evening, I was quite surprised because I'm thinking we've had a 3-day celebration. We normally start around 11-12. We don't finish at about 9-10. Sunday got back, I think between about 9 and 10. And he said, yeah, we're meeting at 11. And I'm thinking, go and sleep. It's your birthdays. We've had a 3-day event. You need to rest your body. But no, he was more interested, in us.
Yeah.
He was more interested in us. Every moment, he had, he wanted to impart, the kingdom onto us, So, when he said, we'll be meeting at 11, I was thinking in my head, oh, I'm sure he'll be sleeping very soon, But lo and behold, high level of selflessness. 11 o'clock, he was with us. I think we're there till about 4:30.
Guys, 4 a.m.
And I'm thinking,
4 a.m. We went to bed 4 a.m.
Where does he get his strength from? But then it's all the utilization of every moment he has. He wants to be a blessing to you, because he's got so much in himself. He just wants to release it onto you so that you could also be a success, not just in your Christian life, but in every area of your life, and it was such a wonderful time, just what play? Somebody said yes, they sleep.
They sleep.
In fact, he doesn't sleep.
Because 3 times we were there from 11 to 4 a.m. Yes.
I remember some of the days I was just
struggling,
thinking, oh God, make this man sleep. I was just struggling, but then he was just, and as I said, my mind just kept on going back to Jesus and his disciples, where, the disciples would meet with Jesus, ask him a question, and, he'll be surprised that, do you also not have understanding, having been with me for so long a time, and you could tell, he was so full of that love.
Yeah.
He just wanted to impart, into you, because one, he didn't know how long you'll be staying with him, so he wanted to make sure you go away with substance. It's not just you've come for a birthday party, we've celebrated, and now it's time to go home and life goes on as usual. No, it wasn't like that with him at all. He just wanted to impart you, go away with something new, substance, go away with a new beginning, Then I think on Monday, which was the 4th day, it was back to the boot camp.
Yes.
It was back to boot camp, just being with him. He taking us through the scriptures, etc. Actually on the Monday I had the what should I say? I had the chance to visit one of their rehab homes, for drug addicts, etc. And it was really touching, because when you listen to the whole concept, it's not even something being run by the church per se, it's actually a member who actually sold his house, bought another building for a rehab center, and we had the occasion to actually interact. We actually had lunch with the drug addicts there. They told us their story, and it also shed more light on the fact that they go through normally a 6-month or a 1-year rehab process. They are integrated back into society. They help them to find a job, mingle with like-minded Christians, etc., and they are put back on a good footing, and and I was just asking myself, let's be honest with ourselves, how many of us will do that? Actually sell our building to go and buy a rehab house. You and I know if we want one house, we're thinking about the second house. Who is going to live in it, I don't know, but we want the second and the third house, and it's as I said, it just brings the scriptures alive unto you. Jesus said, I was hungry, you fed me. I was naked, you clothed me. There are millions of people or thousands of people out there who need our help, but then you can see he's brought up a people who are kingdom minded.
That's the word, kingdom.
Who are kingdom minded. Even as we read in the Acts of the Apostles, there were people sold what they had, brought it before the apostles' feet, and it was distributed amongst the people, and none lacked. And you go there, be with them. Although I know there's a language barrier, but then some of them speak English, having been with DSA for a long time, they've learned the English language. You wouldn't believe the way they dance to the African rhythms. They are more Africanized than Ukraine. But you can tell these are people living for God.
Oh my goodness.
Not in words, but in deed.
Indeed. Yep, they're sold out.
You would agree with me that we praise God with our mouth. We praise God with our mouth. We show off our latest Mercedes Benz to portray the goodness and mercies of God and blessings of God on our lives. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but then there's more to our Christian life than what we can attain for ourselves. There are people out there who really need help, who really need help. And it was really, an eye opener. And, I even asked the guy, I said, how can one support this work? Because you can see the tangible results that they are producing from what they do. Practical Christianity, lives of people being changed just because somebody understood the kingdom principle and decided, this is what I want to do for the kingdom of God. I'll sell my house, buy a place that can accommodate, I think the place can accommodate either 12 or 16 people, at any one time. I remember there was this, I think the boy was about 19. He was telling us he was actually supposed to have been at the last Olympics, but then he failed to represent Ukraine because of he was drug tested and he failed, and that's how he was. It was in, I think, judo, either judo taekwondo. He was actually the junior national champion. He was supposed to have represented Ukraine, but then he failed the drug test. And he was telling us how he got into drugs, etc. And he ended up in the rehab home because he actually OD'd on drugs. And but for people who were around, who rushed him to the hospital, he would have lost his life. So he's back. He's now in the rehab center, believing to be out in a short while, to go back to what he does best. But then as I said, he has disciples. He's produced disciples who've really come to understand the whole concept of the kingdom. Yeah. As seen in the Acts of the Apostles.
Yes.
It's unfortunate, to this day we've westernized the Acts of the Apostles a little bit, but then I believe we need to go back. We need to go back to our roots, go back to the scriptures, open up the scriptures ourselves and let the scriptures minister unto us. Not what somebody has preached unto us, but what the scriptures themselves are saying to us through the Holy Spirit. But then they give you a different view totally of the Christian life. They give you a totally different view of the Christian life.
Yes.
And you can just being with them, your mind is just transported to the book of Acts. What the early church was. But then, as I said to someone, the apple indeed does not fall far from the tree. So DSA being who he is, has reproduced that selflessness in the lives of the people.
Yes.
Which I believe is a lesson for all of us, especially the leaders, because it is what we see in you is what we also model ourselves, about. Because if I see my leader aiming to get himself a private jet, my mind would also go to get a private jet, But then if I see a leader who is sold out, cares for about the poor, the downcast in society, the widowless, the orphans. If you see such a leader, you're also more or less to copy what you see. So my advice to everyone is let's put dominations aside, okay? Just take a trip, visit, experience what goes on there yourself. Take as much as you can take from them, and also implement it wherever you are. That's what it's all about. It's all about the kingdom.
It's all about the kingdom. It's so all about the kingdom. Now we're going to be rounding off now. I just want to thank you so much for taking time out to be with us this afternoon. For those of you who joined us late, we were sharing our experience following our trip to Kyiv, Ukraine, at Dr. Sunday Adelaja's Golden Jubilee, and all the examples that we learned about God.
About God and the kingdom.
God and the kingdom. It's all about God and the kingdom. It's just totally, I can't wait to go there again. Actually, being there is like as if you are as if you are in the kingdom. You are like in heaven. You're cut off from everything else. So I really want to thank you for spending time with us. I do hope that in some way or another you have been encouraged and be inspired to be more Christ-like, and you would do all that you can to make a trip to Kyiv, Ukraine, to be with Dr. Sunday Adelaja. It will be every worth the money, every penny, every cent, time that you do that. It will be worth. You will not come back the same. And also want to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Sunday Adelaja, whom I call my best mentor in the whole wide world. I want to thank you so much, Dr. Sunday, and for your beautiful wife, Pastor Bosse, for all that you have been doing for us, for opening your house that all of us can come and be with you. He has a 60-bedroom mansion, and he only lives in 1/10 of that mansion. The 9/10 is dedicated to all of us who want to come and visit him. So if you want to go and visit him, all you need to do is to send an email, which I've forgotten the email, but I'll post it. Guest at godembassy.org, I think. Guest at embassy.org. If you send him an email, you can go and visit him. That's it. You don't have to be anybody special. Just normal. You can go. Anybody can go and visit Dr. Sunday Adelaja. So, Dr. Sunday, thank you, my best mentor in the whole wide world, for our wonderful stay at your house, and for my amazing MacBook Pro. Thank you for that. A very expensive gift, and the lovely flowers and everything else that you. Thank you for modeling Daddy God in a way that I've never seen before. Thank you so much. Thank you. May God richly bless you and keep you alive for long, so that many people can benefit. Do you want to say anything to DSA?
Yeah, thank you, DSA. It was such a wonderful experience being with you, and as my wife said, we can't wait to come back again and back again and back again. You've taught me a lot. I can't really put into words, And as I told, and even as I said to you, it was one of the shortest messages you've ever preached, which actually caught my attention and ministered so much, to me, So thank you again for opening up your home to us and receiving us, and we hope to be with you soon. And I can see a few friends are watching. I won't make mention of mention of their name, but they know themselves. And I promise to be in touch with them, and just to encourage them to take a trip, to just take a trip to Ukraine, see with your own eyes. Especially Sylvia, I know you can afford it.
Yes, Sylvia.
I know you can afford it because you are always going to the States. So I know you can afford it. Now everybody on the platform knows Sylvia can afford it. So Sylvia, I'll be in touch. Would arrange just to go for a week.
Yeah.
And be blessed. And if we go and you're not blessed, don't worry.
Would you give a refund?
I'll give you a refund. To my neighbor, my learned friend,
Jeff.
no, who doesn't live far away from us.
Who's that?
Thanks for being on board today. And I believe we can talk more, and it'll be nice also taking you along, what do you call it? I've learned so much from you, although I've never told you. I've learned so much from you, and I believe you'll also be blessed. So, Ogana on us, I'll be in touch. I promise not to mention your name, but I have.
Thank you so much,
thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Queen Patty and all. Thank you, Queen Ola. Lovely to see you. Sorry we're over now. Thank you so much, every one of you who's taking time to be with us this afternoon. You're very much appreciated. Love you loads. Bye.
Stay blessed.
Stay blessed. Bye. Bye, ladies and gentlemen. Bye. Mwah. Mwah. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye.